What's going on, guys? It's Brighteyes here. So today I'm going to talk about something that I love. Probably one of my favorite things that I love in my life. And that is Formula One. I absolutely love it. Now I want to talk about the Formula One team of Ferrari as I'm really concerned about them at the moment. So Ferrari, that up there with Renault and McLaren. They are Ferrari is up there with my. I would say it's not my. I do like the team. I absolutely love Ferrari. I grew up watching Michael Schumacher. When he was at Ferrari, coming to the end of his dominance is when I started watching Formula One. When Fernando Alonso was started winning his two world championships. But yeah, I Ferrari, I absolutely love them. But ever since 2008, they haven't, aside from like 2010, and 12, they and like some other years, they haven't been anywhere. Um, and this year they have Sebastian Vettel, who I will get into, um, and they also have, and one of my favorite drivers, and a lot of people's one of their favorite drivers on the grid this year, Charles Leclerc, who is the youngest Ferrari driver since the 1960s. So he's 21 or 22, um, and Ferrari this year have been awful. Preseason testing, everyone was like, "Oh, this is going to be Seb's year. It's going to be Ferrari's year. They're gonna, you know, with Charles in that second seat, Ferrari are really going to give Vettel a kick up the arse, um, since he blew both the championships beforehand, um, and preseason testing they're quickest, but obviously, if you know Formula One, which I assume most of you don't, preseason testing means absolutely nothing. I think one of the best examples of this, I can't remember, it might have been, it's 2011 or 13, where Williams were the fastest in the second test, and they had like their worst year in Formula One, since they started. So yeah, preseason testing just not mean anything. But obviously those are the only things we can go against. And Ferrari, when they went up to Australia, um, were nowhere, absolutely nowhere. Um, that's just it. Apart from Bahrain, which Charles Leclerc should have won if he didn't have that engine trouble. He should have won that. He should have won that. He should have won that race. He was leading it. They used team orders, which I'll also get into about Ferrari this year. Um, yeah, just it's just been a poor year for Ferrari so far. Their best result has been second place, which was Monaco, which was the last race. As I'm recording this, that was the last race, and we got second. Yeah, it's just been poor from Ferrari this year. I'm gonna be honest. It's been frustrating as well because I love Ferrari. I ordered last year for official Ferrari T-shirt, an official one, which cost me like 40 quid. But it's because I love Ferrari, absolutely love them. Um, Now there are some reasons as to why I'm really frustrated with them. First off is team orders this year. Um, have been atrocious. Um, there have been numerous times where when one of Ferraris is behind the other, it's fastest, and it takes them 5 laps to decide whether to let the faster guy past or not. Which by then point the race is fucked over anyway. Excuse me, but it's just fucked the race up anyway, which is really frustrating. Um, and I don't think right. Whoever is doing Ferrari strategy, especially after Monaco, they need to be fired. As Charles Leclerc got knocked out in Q1, basically because they thought he had done enough. Um, and Ferrari and Vettel kept on scraping the barriers. which left him in Q1. So for Vettel essentially knocked out his teammate, which Leclerc was he was fuming afterwards, and he said, I'm just gonna go for broke. If I crash, which he did, which he just did a Gilles Villeneuve after he got a puncture trying to emulate a beautiful overtake he did on Grosjean on a Hulkenberg. But it didn't. Gave him a puncture, just shredded his floor, and just did a Gilles Villeneuve, um, and just shredded his car, absolutely shredded his floor. And he retired. Now that wouldn't have happened if Ferrari had some common sense and just sent him out anyway. I think Charles should have said something, as he did question it. He should have done a little bit more, I feel. But it was just awful, awful. China, I think it was China. Um, I can't remember which way around it was. It might have been basically they were doing one was faster than the other, let them go through, and then the guy behind was going faster. It was just an absolute mess. Um, and they've just had so much team changes as well, with Amuzio Arrivavene, the team principal, him leaving but just before pre-season, being replaced by Matteo Binotto. I apologize if I'm butchering those names. Um, it's just it's just so frustrating. Just see one of my favorites, probably the trouble is, I can't. I really do like Ferrari, but I just love it. I loved it when they were Michael Schumacher, Rins Barrichello, Ross Brawn, and Jean Todt, that like period from like 2000 to 2005, barring 2005, was just absolutely. It was just so nice and calm. There was no, from what I remember, if from what I know and can remember, there was no like fighting or anything like that. It just went all so smoothly, and now they've got someone who they've got now a driver, a four-time world champion, who many people think is going to retire at the end of the year, which I really want to get into that as well. And they've got a young driver who is an incredible driver, who has, yeah, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. If Honda start getting that act together, um, if Honda, bring a really good engine, they can. I think it's going to be against, hopefully, and I'm praying, because I want this it will be one day in the future, in a couple of years' time, we will have Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, and Esteban Ocon going for a championship. That would be a beautiful, that would be, if everything goes right, it would be perhaps one of the best seasons in F1 history. Just three fairly young drivers just going at it for a title in three separate cars. I would love that. Maybe, sprinkle in a little bit of Renault, because I really want Renault to do well, but I've got that feeling I might do a separate video on Renault. I've got a feeling they're not gonna pull it together, which is a shame. And maybe sprinkling a little bit of McLaren in there as well, because I love Carlos Sainz is, I'm gonna say, my favorite driver on the grid, and him and Lando Norris is a really good pairing. Anyway, so yeah, I'm now. It's just Ferrari this year, with all the, I think, just all the troubles that they've had with the team, like principal drama and all of that, and the two quick drivers and their strategies being fucking dreadful. Um, I think something's got to change. Either because this is I'm having 2016 vibes of Ferrari, where they're becoming Italian again, where they're so focused on. I think it's like something like they've become so focused on winning, on not trying to lose, that they've forgotten how to win. If that makes any sense. I've just butchered that. So they're too worried about losing, and they're not putting all the focus into winning. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Um, so I'm going to address the rumors that have been going on ever since like Monaco. Since like someone posted like a rumor that Sebastian Vettel could be retiring at the end of the year. Now, I can see this happening because the last time um, the Sebastian Vettel had a young driver against him was in 2014 with Daniel Ricciardo, when Vettel was at Red Bull. Webber retired at the end of 2013. After um, and so Red Bull promoted Ricciardo, and Ricciardo wiped the floor with him. And after that is I can't remember what it must have been sometime like Italy, Singapore, because that's when like some big driver changes get announced. He was signed for Ferrari for 2015. Um, so yeah, we're using that. I can see Vettel retiring now. If he does, there are, I would say, two drivers, maybe three, but it depends on how his season goes. Um, there are two drivers that I would love to see in that seat. Number one, I know I don't know what people would feel about this if this video comes back in a few years' time when I'm a little bit more popular. Um, I would love to see Daniel Kvyat in that Ferrari. Now, the reason I say Kvyat is because he was in 2018 when he got dropped by the entire Red Bull program essentially. He was the Ferrari's development driver, and this year he's been amazing. This is the Kvyat I wish. He's just showing Red Bull why they shouldn't have dropped him this year. Um, which are there's so many videos I want to do about F1 now. Thinking about it, he Kvyat, he's been a brilliant. He's just been brilliant this year so far, um, and it would just be him sticking up a massive middle finger to Red Bull, saying like, "This is why you should not have dropped. This is why you shouldn't have dropped me in favor of Max Verstappen." And that's basically my reasoning for it. He's been amazing, and just because it's just saying to Red Bull, you know what, thank you very much, but I don't need you anymore. Just look at I feel so sorry for him after the way Red Bull treated him. Now the second driver is from is Sergio Perez. Ever since 2013, when he had that year at McLaren, he has been overlooked so many times for a Ferrari seat, and I'd say probably out of the drivers I'm going to mention, he deserves it the most. That 2013 McLaren was not a good car. That was the 2012 car, I think if he had not gone to McLaren, his F1 career probably would have gone a lot better. The problem is that with Formula One, they were always the problem with it. The problem with teams is that they could consider it, but there's no, there was that year when like some guy was in a top car and he didn't do very well. That McLaren was not a good car at all, and Perez was part of the Ferrari program, but after Lewis Hamilton said he's going to Mercedes, um, McLaren, I think quite rightly said, yeah, we'll just take Perez. After that season, he got dropped, and he's been at Racing Point, which was formerly known as Force India, the past like 3 or 4 years. I think it's nearly actually 4 or 5. Um, just I'd love it. I would say he thoroughly deserves it. Been he's a great racing driver. He you know, he was on par with Hulkenberg, who is like he was like as one of the best drivers on the grid. He was him and Ocon. That was a very toxic relation. That was a very toxic pairing. But he did outperform Ocon sometimes. Um, and he just I'm gonna say Perez just deserves it. And it's that perfect. He's experienced as well, which it suits Ferrari. He was linked with Ferrari before. That would do very well. Now, the final one would be Valtteri Bottas for Mercedes. Now this depends on how well the rest of the season goes for Bottas, because he's been ever since he's I've this Bottas is completely different to the 2018 one. After I don't know what happened to Bottas last year, but he just became what to I'll just quote to he became a wingman essentially. He was so unlucky not to win. Was it China, Baku, and Russia? He should have won 3 races last year. But due to bad luck and team orders, which I don't really think Mercedes should have done in Russia, he should have won 3 races, and he dominated Australia. Um, what other race? I think was it back? No, now it's one back. I can't remember which race it was. He what? Actually, it might have been Baku. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, he's just been amazing this season. But it all depends on how the rest of it goes for him, because you know, but yeah, Valtteri. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. You know, but I will. It's if Bottas does go to end up getting dropped or leaving. He'll go to Ferrari. Basically, what my ideal scenario is Valtteri does well. He stays at Mercedes for another year. If Vettel does retire, get Perez in. Literally just because I really missed Esteban Ocon on the grid. And also he's really good friends with Lance Stroll as well in Racing Points. So if Perez goes to Ferrari, if Vettel does retire, this is a very big if because I don't think it will happen. If Vettel retires, Perez goes to Ferrari. That Racing Point spot opens up. Boom, Ocon in because I do believe Ocon and Stroll get on quite well together. Um, so maybe Lance Stroll can have a little whisper in his daddy's ear because his dad owns Racing Point, which is the team Stroll's drive for. So he can have a little like whisper in daddy's ear and say, "Daddy, can you get my best friend Ocon Esteban in the seat next to me, please? Because I really get on with him and he's my friend." Um, but yeah, that's basically it, guys. My like whole rant on Ferrari this year and what could possibly be the future for them. Bright eyes are out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this different video.